Hello everyone and welcome back to Arctic Retro and Happy New Year! This is the first actual video I make in 2026 and I was just playing with these large LED displays. I bought two of those from AliExpress quite some time ago. I haven't come around to actually using them, but I was thinking about making something fun with those. However, there was one of the ribbon cables that was missing, so I had to order one. But that's not what this video is about today. Today I'm gonna take a look at this one. It's a Commodore 1541 floppy disk drive. I thought I'll start a little bit easy in the new year, and this is not working, so I'm gonna check out the drive and see what's wrong with it and see if it can be fixed. Let me just make a quick stop here to thank my sponsor PCBWay. PCBWay produces PCBs, but they also do a lot of other cool services. They have supported this channel for several years, and without them I don't know if I could have a YouTube channel at all. Recently I got a bunch of PCBs from them. As you can see, very nice quality, and just $10 US for 10 PCBs. Besides getting an instant quote for PCBs, they also do services like 3D printing, CNC machining and PCB assembly. Also check out their PCBWay mascot design contest for 3D printing if you want to participate and win some prizes. PCBWay takes care of all your hobbyist needs, so go ahead and visit PCBWay.com right now. It's quite the cold weather here now. We had -10 now for several days. I'm freezing, especially when I have to go out and it's windy too. So I don't know if you saw my Christmas episode, but I showed this there and figured it wasn't working, and it's quite dirty and gross. So the door lock here is obviously broken, but the main problem was that it couldn't read any discs, even though it seems to try and seems to be working electronically. Yeah, so we need a computer, of course. Use my golden C64 that I built myself. Yeah, I just bought this and a Commodore 64 right before Christmas, and these are quite nice floppy disk drives, the white one, and they're quite easy to work with and repair, but yeah, it could be also difficult. I mean, if the read-write head is damaged, then it's not easy to fix. So I didn't do a lot of testing of this. I just turned it on and tried to load a floppy disk, so we can do that now. When you turn on a 1541, it should light up, start spinning, and then it initializes, and then it should stop and turn off the light. Yeah, and it does. So that indicates that the ROM and the CPU and all that is working. So let's insert a floppy, and with the lock, the hatch mechanism not working, that might be the reason it doesn't work. Maybe it doesn't go into position. So let's try and load the directory then. Yeah, so it starts spinning, and then it bangs a little bit, and then it stops and it blinks red error, file not found error. So it could simply be that the read-write head is dirty, or it could be out of alignment. I have this 1541 diagnostics cartridge that consists of a bunch of tools for testing floppy disk drives. So I was thinking I take a blank floppy and then see if I can format it, and if it can be formatted and then the formatted disk can be used, then it's probably an alignment issue. So I'm going to start with the performance test. And that test starts with the formatting, but as you can see, it's failed immediately with error, 21 read error. Says mechanical test okay. So seems like it's not just an alignment issue. Then we can run the alignment check, of course. Yeah, here we see it's all red. But of course this disk isn't formatted, at least I don't think it is. If I try again with the other disk that is formatted and has some files on it, try the alignment check on that. Yeah, so that's also very wrong. It should have numbers up against 100 if I remember correctly. But as I said, electronically it seems to be working fine. It gets the right commands and it performs the commands it gets, but cannot read. Let's try and do a fast format here. Well, that completed without an error, but it won't show a directory. If we use validate disk, it says okay, okay. Nope. So that really isn't the more we can do now. I need to open it up, see if there's any mechanical issues inside the drive that can be fixed, perhaps. Quite dirty, and it has some marks here. I think that's a cable burns where the plastic actually starts melting in contact with another type of plastic from a cable. But otherwise it looks okay. Yeah, gonna open it. 4 screws. So I'm still waiting for the new Commodore 64 Ultimate. I've seen a lot of videos about it and a lot of discussions about it, and it looks just amazing. So I ordered the Founders Edition, and I think they have started the production now, but when I get it, I have no idea. Ooh, yeah, that's quite dusty. Full of dust and dirt. Oh, I'm gonna remove the bottom case as well. So have any of you guys ordered the Commodore 64 Ultimate from Commodore, the new Commodore? I want to know about it in the comments. Yeah. Yeah. Now it's free, yeah, and the case is very black and dirty inside. So everything needs a good clean. I'm gonna take the whole thing here down in my garage and use some compressed air just to remove all the dirt and dust before I do anything else. Yes, that's much better. I know this can be cleaned even a little bit more. Even if the dust is for the most part gone, it's still quite dirty. Yeah, and here we can take a look at the motherboard, and this is one of the more modern variants of this kind of 1541. It has a lot fewer chips than the original one. So here's a couple of ROMs. I think maybe this is RAM. We have the 6502 CPU, two 6522s, that's some IO chips, and then we have one chip here, a MOS branded one, which is some kind of logic array or something. This chip has combined a lot of the other chips that were in the older variants. Voltage regulators, two big caps, some other logic and analog, I guess, stuff. It's a Mitsumi drive, D500. Yeah, and here's the interesting part, the mechanical part of the drive, which is probably the issue here. Yes, and within here, I think I see the issue already. The locking mechanism doesn't work as we saw before, but it doesn't push the floppy disk down. So that's probably why it doesn't work, because then it doesn't spin even. So how do we fix that? Not really sure how it's supposed to be working, but there's a metal pin there. So either something's broken or that metal pin has come out, and I suppose it's gonna go over there and actually just push and lock. Here we see it. If I try and yeah, it's all loose, but now I pushed it too far too soon. There's a plastic piece there. Maybe it's supposed to go over there. Yeah. Ah, yes. So that fixed it, but why is it loose? And how can I prevent it from coming loose again? Yeah, I don't know. Simply need to use some glue or something, I guess. Just try to clean up in case there's some fat or something. Actually, I'm gonna remove the front. Then I need to unscrew this handle, and it has some hex screws. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, so now this is loose, and I can take, yeah, this goes out like that. Very dirty, gonna clean it up, and yeah, the plastic on this drive is of course a little bit yellowed, I think. Yeah, I want to secure the little metal pin there. I should probably use some Loctite or something, but I don't have that, so simply a little drop of super glue. Let that dry. The drive head is down there, and it is looking quite clean. Still, I use a Q-tip with some alcohol, just rub it a little bit back and forth, and then turn to the dry side and wipe it again. Clean up a little bit around. Actually, I'm gonna remove the motherboard because I want to reach down here and clean a little bit and lubricate. Just a couple of screws. Couple and couple. It's at least 6. Yeah, I'm not gonna disconnect it completely. Backside of the motherboard looks perfect. No rework has been done. Yeah, that reveals the whole drive mechanism, and I can clean it a little bit better. Maybe I should test it before I clean it, but yeah, in case it doesn't work still, maybe it's a total gone drive, but yeah. I'm gambling on it that it's gonna work. You have the drive head here and it slides on these metal rails here. I don't know if you can see it, but like round metal pipes. They're not dirty or anything. I just clean off them a little bit. Yeah, you see it now here, down here. And the plastic, it just slides on top of the aluminium here, and yeah, doesn't seem to be an issue with the friction or anything, but you never know. I'm gonna wipe it and lubricate a little bit. Now it looks totally clean and nice. I just use a little bit of silicone spray, just yeah, I think I'm gonna spray onto this Q-tip so I don't overflood it. Yeah, just a little bit on both the rails and up here. Other mechanical parts, we have some here, but besides that there isn't much. We have here a little bit of friction, and here's the track 0 stop, and this is the one you're gonna adjust if you need to align the drive, but I'm not sure if it's misaligned yet. Yeah, so I think that was essentially it. Let's test this drive now, see how it performs. Was it that simple? Yeah, this drive case is gonna go into the wash, very black and dusty. Do a little test before I clean up the case and assemble it. Actually, I'm thinking it's gonna work now. Let's see now then. No, it still says file not found. So apparently it wasn't that easy. Seems like it didn't do any actual seeking. It spins and then the head just tuk. Yeah, it moves, and nothing's wrong with the stepper motor for sure. I ran some error scan and it actually found 35 tracks and 0 bad sectors, so I'm not really sure what that means. I'll try another disc. This is a Robocop, it's an original, so it should be a good disc to use for alignment since it's an original. Nope, it can't find a directory. So I don't understand the numbers here, but it's supposed to show some percentage here and not 0 and 1. Yes, we might have some more diagnostics to do here. I mean, if you do the validate, it gets okay from the floppy disk drive, so that's working. I'm going to try and do a performance test now with a blank disk. Yeah, it's the same. How about the speed? Oh, drive speed error. That is definitely not normal. Does it even spin? This drive has a motor here and it has a belt. I mean, the motor is here, then the belt goes to the drive mechanism. Let's see now if it actually is spinning. Yes. Yeah, so the operation of the drive is normal, it's spinning, it's apparently reading and responding to commands and everything, but it cannot read any data. And there might be several reasons for that. One of the reasons could be that the drive head is damaged. And for that we can check the resistance. And we should have a fairly low resistance, 13 ohms, 12 ohms. 13, 26. Yeah, I'm not really sure about the pinout here, but seems to be low res all over. Yeah, so I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Because if it's an open or very high resistance connection, then it would indicate that the drive head is dead, and apparently it's not. It should be under 100, I think, ohms. So I read a little bit, and to adjust the speed of the drive, you use this variable resistor here, as far as I understand. And yeah, I was thinking just try to adjust it a little bit and see if it makes any change. I made a mark on where it is currently now, so I just turn it all the way up. See if that make any difference. No, it didn't. Then I turn it all the way down. I just want to see if the speed check changes. Nope. The stepper motor is working perfectly fine. I have this program here that can step the head back and forth. So if I want to go all the way to track 35, I can go to track 18 and then back to track 0. And I can step one track at a time or a half track back and forth. And you can turn the motor on or off if you want, and all that seems to work just fine. I also read that the common fault when you get file not found is bad caps, and we have a bunch of small caps here. So I'm just going to check on the caps and see if there's anyone that has a short or something. So none of them seem to be shorted or anything. But I don't know, I have several old 1541s and I have never had any issues with the capacitors. Anyway, I'm gonna check out the alignment, and to do that, of course, I need to remove the PCB again. There is two things you can adjust here, and the first one is this. This is the 0 track stopper. You see when the head moves, this metal piece stops right there, and that's track 0. And that's the banging you hear when the drive is going back to track 0. And then you have a screw on the side here where you can adjust the alignment, and that means where on the disc is the head. I can't really tell if that has changed or moved. So now it's in the position all the way back. I'm going to try and adjust the 0 track stop a little bit. So if I move it a little bit like that, 1 millimeter. Then the head would be able to travel a little bit further back. No, still the same. So that didn't have any impact. So I'm gonna adjust it a little bit forward instead. It was like 1 millimeter, and now I move it 1 millimeter the other way. Nope, that didn't do anything. So I'm gonna set it back to where it was before. I'm not gonna touch the track alignment screw, because I know it's hard to get it back right again afterwards. And I really don't think it's an alignment issue after all, because then it should be possible to format a disk with the current alignment, but it doesn't. I took out the oscilloscope and I've been probing the input and output on the serial port, and there's signals both on the clock pins and data in and out. So starting to probe randomly around here, I don't think there's any point, since the electronics controlling the drive is apparently working. I also probed some of the pins on one of the VIA chips here that's responsible for the clock and data in and out, and that seems to be correct too. So to be able to diagnose drives like this, I think it's essential that you actually understand what it does and how it works. So this is the service manual. Yeah, and it has some schematics, but they're very, very poor quality. You cannot read the labels or anything. Maybe there's some better versions. So I went down to this troubleshooting guide, and actually here it says message file not found is displayed, and that actually says clean drive head, we've done that. Check syrup stop adjustment, we've done that. Check alignment, I haven't done that. But of course there could be another issue that makes it behave like this. You can access the status and the error channel on the 1541 by making a small program. I made this here. So this opens up a channel 15 for device 8, and it sends I0 as the command. And what this does is it seeks the drive and then tries to read the BAM, and then we just read in the result of that, the error channel, and this will print the error code and the error message and some other information. I'm not sure what those numbers are. Yeah, I already ran this, and if we run it again, this was after trying to read it. It comes out with 21 read error. Strangely enough, the service manual doesn't contain a list of error codes, but I found one here, and this is a list of all the different error codes you can get from a Commodore floppy disk drive. And if we go down to 21, it says here sync character not found. And what does that mean? Yeah, 21 read error. The disk controller is unable to detect a sync mark on the desired track caused by misalignment of the read-writer head. No diskette is present, or unformatted or improperly seated diskette can also indicate a hardware failure. So I think still I need to try and do some alignment on this drive, and I actually said that aligning the drive was to loosen the screw on the little metal band, the belt that moves the head back and forward, but actually you aligned the actual stepper motor and the whole head mechanism here by loosening these two screws and actually moving the whole stepper motor assembly. And you can do that while you run the alignment program just to see if it changes. So let me just simply loosen those screws a little bit. That was tough screws, yeah. There it came. Yeah, just loosen them gently. There's a wider fastening on the motor than the screw, so you can actually move it. I have inserted an original game disc, and now when running the alignment check, I'm gonna try and adjust the motor. Doesn't show any difference whatsoever. Doesn't seem to have much effect at all. No, I tried many times now and adjusting little by little, but it's read error 21 all the same. No, I do have several other drives, so I could easily just take the motherboard out of another drive and check if the actual drive is faulty or not. However, I'll try to learn a little bit about the drive and how it works first, so I thought I'll check some signals. You know, this cable comes from the read-write head, and it has 4 pins. Pin 1 and 5 is 2 signals, read-write signals from the head. Pin 3 is a raise, and pin 4 is a command. Now these signals goes through these diodes here and then over to this amplifier circuit here. And this amplifier is a NE592. I checked the datasheet for it. It says it's a video amplifier, but it's probably used for another purpose here. Then there's some more logic, and it goes through to another 592. I guess it's this one. The signal is then of course amplified because the signal coming from The read-write head is yeah, around 200 millivolts or something. Then it goes to this comparator LM311, and what that does, it translates the signals coming from the read-write head into a square pattern, which is then a bit signal. So at least I'm going to check this part up to there and see if it looks right on the oscilloscope. Just check some basic stuff first, that these diodes are alright. They should block in one direction, which they all do, except that one. If we reverse it, 0.7, 0.6, 0.6, 0.6, 0.6, 0.6, and then do we have a connection? Pin 1 should go to this diode, pin 5 should go to 17, yes, and from there we should go to this chip here somewhere, yeah, pin 14. CR15 goes to a transistor Q5, yes it does. So there are several things that can be broken here. So this is the schematics, this is what I just explained. This is P8, the connector for the read-write head, pin 1 and 5 goes through these diodes over to the 592 and Q5, and then it goes on to the other 592 and then to the 311 over here. I'm gonna try and probe here the diode CR17. Problem is, apparently there's a lot of high voltage noise or what it is. I'm not sure if this is normal. You see here, I probe the diode. You see there's some kind of waveform going all the way up to 6 volts and below 4, minus 4 volts. Yeah, I get that all over the board, even on the chips. So I think there's something not right here. Maybe with the oscilloscope, the probe or anything. Yeah, if I change the time base to 50 microseconds, it actually gets like a flat line. Now if I check one of the VIA chips, see if we find some signals. Yeah, but it's very noisy. Yeah, I'll try to restart the oscilloscope. Yeah, I think it has to do where I put the ground lead and where the capacitors are. Now I put it there at the minus of that big capacitor. And now I get a stable signal around 5 volts on that chip. Yeah, let's see now on CR17. Yeah, there's a stable 5 volt on that diode. Let's see now if I run a command, a read command. No, didn't see anything. So I zoomed in now. Let's see now. We see there's a lot of noise. But if I try to read from the drive, no, there's nothing. Alright, so I probed here at the diodes, no signal. I probed the output of this amplifier, there's no signal. I probed the output of the comparator that makes the bit pattern. There's no output whatsoever. So that makes me think maybe the head is dead after all. Yeah, so I'm just going to check the resistance again. Here in the service manual it says what kind of resistance you're supposed to have. 32 ohms, 64 ohms, 17 ohms. This is the motor coil between blue and red, 32.4 ohms. Yeah, it's not looking good. This is the erase head and it has 14 ohms. However, the read-write head, maybe I misread it before, but it's 15 kilo ohms and it's supposed to be 32 ohms. Yeah, so that means we have a faulty read-write head then. Yeah, from the black wire, the center tap, to the red, there's 15 kilo ohms, but to the other looks more normal, 14 ohms. If that's the case, then there's no way this can be repaired without a new head. But I'm not giving up quite yet. I mean, it could be a bad solder joint. Could of course be a bad cable too. Here's another white drive. It is working. I cleaned it and lubricated all the way back in 1919. I'm not sure if it's exactly the same. Apparently not. It's not the same closing mechanism. Yeah, this works. Question is, will this be compatible with the drive I have? I don't think so. It's totally different. So it might not be possible, but at least I can check the resistance. So between black and the red there was high resistance. Yeah, it was between the last two pins and the first there were 15k. Yeah, there's 32 ohms. Yeah, I don't think there's any point in trying the other card in this drive. I'm pretty sure they're not compatible. I don't want to risk damaging something on this one. Still, I haven't given completely up yet. Of course, this might have to serve as a parts drive, but I'm gonna take a look at the read-write head and see if there's something wrong that can be fixed, perhaps. The other one was an Alps. I think for this particular drive you could also use the Alps drive mechanism, and there was a jumper to select which one you use. Yeah, and the read-write head is down there, and it's very tiny. You see the wires coming in. So there's a high resistance from the red wire. Could be the wire itself, you know. And the red wire comes there. Yeah, so the wire up until that little resistor is good. And that little resistor is 15k. Yeah. But is it supposed to be like that? Yeah, take off the belt so it's not in the way. So I don't know what this is. Maybe it's a coil, but that's a resistor by the looks of it, and 15k, and that is what we see. I cannot read the color bands on resistors and tell what the value is. All the solder joints looks alright. So the red wire comes in and it goes through this resistor, and if this resistor is 13 or 15 kilo ohms and it's supposed to be much lower, then maybe it's the resistor's fault. Anyway, I'm now measuring this component, but it might be just in parallel with the actual read-write coil that's underneath here, so it might be that which is damaged, of course. The only thing I can really do is try and heat up those solder joints, see if that might help. I mean, it could be cracked on the other side or something, you never know. But it's worth a try. Well, still 15k. I'm going to take out one of the legs just to measure the component when it's not in circuit. Yeah, it is 15k. I'm pretty sure it won't work without it. Obviously now we have open circuit just to double check. Yeah, it's in mega ohms. So for reading the actual value this is supposed to have, it's a little bit hard. Is it a red or orange? Is it black or purple? But I think it's black, green, red, gold, and that's supposed to be 500. So I've been doing some thinking. It's the next day now. I come to the conclusion that it is a resistor and its value is in fact black, green, orange and gold, and that is a 15k resistor. which definitely there is in this drive head. Problem is I don't have the same drive mechanism in any other of my 1541s, and I cannot find any documentation for this particular drive. However, with googling a little bit, I found this post. It actually talks about Mitsumi D500. It's from Lemon 64. And it actually says here, he's measuring a 15K, and it says here that's normal for an open coil. There's a 15K resistor on it right before it enters the coils. It says that's normal for an open coil, and yeah, if the 15K resistor is in parallel with the coil, then you would of course measure a low resistance if the coil was working. But when it's open, then you would read a 15K resistance. So here's a parallel resistor calculator. Let's say we have a 15K resistor, and let's say the resistor number 2 is 10 ohms. Then the equivalent resistance would be 10 ohms. But if the coil is open, that means it has indefinite resistance. Then we will measure a 15K resistance. So my conclusion then is the drive head is broken. And actually, through my googling of this drive, I found a lot of comments that this is a common problem on this particular drive mechanism, the D500. And the explanation was that they had used some kind of bad potting material inside the head. You know, the head coils are placed in some kind of potting, and over time that has made the windings go bad. And there is no way to actually fix this. You could of course try and make your own coil windings and use your own potting or something like that, but that is way beyond me, I think. So I don't have any other option then to just say this is not repairable. Either I need to find a new drive mechanism, which I don't have spare, or a new head, of course, which I don't have either. But this drive could be useful for parts, of course. Alright, I think that was it for this video. The floppy disk drive couldn't be repaired, unfortunately. But it has some value still. I can use it for parts. I could sell it, of course, if someone else wants to have a go at it. But at least I did some servicing. I cleaned it up, and it now looks quite nice, even if it's not working. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and hope to see you next time. Special thanks to my patrons. Don't forget to subscribe. See you next time. Bye bye.